Hello everyone, Batpan here. This is actually our first ever devlog in this format. I actually had a devlog before, but this one is a devlog. We're gonna, talk very simple. It's just us talking to each other and there's no edits. There's not gonna be, any fancy edits or anything. It's just, a chilling video inside which I'm gonna tell you what I've covered for my game, what I created so far, what problems I had, how did I fix them, anything new that I've learned, any new experiences that I got. First, we're gonna see a quick thing of the game, a quick view of the game. We have this player moving around, we have this station, as you know. These are some animations. We have the players, and of course this train is not moving, this metro is not moving. We are at a metro station. This story is actually a secret, but it is going to be a psychological horror game, and what I have in mind is actually, kind of cool for me, but making that game is actually the hard part. But what I have inside this is actually an interaction system. You can interact with, objects. A new thing that I've added inside this game that was not inside my previous game is if you are interacting and the text is getting written, you don't have to watch it all the way. You can press left mouse, skip it, and it is gonna be, written fully, and then you have to wait for a second, then it's gonna disappear, like this. You see, I press it twice and it writes it completely, And that was one of the things I, added. And the other thing I added, which is actually funny, is you can interact with players. They look at you and you can go back. You can have some dialogues with them, you see. And you can add it like here. And it's not gonna be, the final product, but it is what I've created so far. And yeah, you can have the dialogues, you can go back, you can have dialogue with anyone. You see, they look at you. I made a global system that I can give to any of these, and I can interact with them and talk with them. And we have this priest here we can talk to, and we also have this cop that we can talk to. And another thing that I've created, which took me a while, was this note system. You see, you have this note system which has a next page, a previous page, and you can take the note. So if you've seen all these, functions, you might ask, what is the difference? You had this in your previous game, Fractured Psyche. But the core difference inside here is, since my previous, game's codes were, a mess. If I wanted to, for example, add a dialogue or, remove a grammatical error inside the dialogue, I had to go inside the script. I had to look through, 2,000 lines of codes and find at a specific location and just, remove that line. But as you see inside this, inside this game, I added a global dialogue system, a global note manager, and anything inside here is global. It took me a week or two, but it is actually a pretty cool thing. It's actually global, a thing I learned along the way. And you see, I have a class which actually holds a dialogue, for example, and I have two languages for now. It takes an ID, so you can call it, then it takes the, sentence, then it takes the speaker, and for example right now I'm gonna add Farsi, which is my native language. You can actually write the Farsi part in here, then the Farsi speaker. And how do you make the game Farsi and not English? You have to go to your global managers, and I have a thing up here. You can choose Farsi or English. Everything actually runs in the background, in the back end. Let me just show you one of the scripts from my previous game, Fractured Psyche. This is the Cam Interact, a script for the interaction system of my previous game called Fractured Psyche. You just look at it, you'll get a headache just by looking at it. There's void start that checks, gives it language, which you don't have to do inside here, but I did it for my previous game. Then you have this update, which actually is, super confusing. You see, I checked if the lang int was 0. If it is 0, then it is English. If it is 1, then it is, Portuguese. If it is 2, it is Farsi. And it took a lot of time, a lot of efforts to, just add dialogues and do some stuff, because everything had to be done inside the scripts, which is super confusing and super hard to edit. You just look at it, I have a lot, you see, there is a lot of things to do inside the game, and it is only for one scene. Keep in mind, this is only for one scene. And it is like 2,000 lines, and it is not just it has so much things to do. It has a lot of things to do, but it is not like I could have done it inside multiple scripts, and I just didn't have to do everything inside one script. And this was the script for my previous game, and I'm gonna show you a script from my current game. So you see the difference. I'm gonna go to my camera and open up my Cam Interact for this game, and you're gonna see the difference. It is true that it is not finished yet, but as you see, this is for adding, interaction text. You don't have to do it, else if, and yeah, I just put it up here because it is one line. It is cleaner, of course, and everything needed is here. It has inside fixed update. We just check the, player pressing stuff. Anything I don't need, I put it inside region. And yeah, this is everything I'm gonna do. Everything through the scripts, every questions that I asked and answers I got was only with this only one line, you see? And anything, getting done is inside the back end, inside other scripts. This switch case is actually like if else, so no worries on that. I make it as, short as possible, as clean as possible, because I, learned that if I want to, come back to my game and fix a bug, I have to read all the codes because I'm not gonna remember all the codes when I, go out of the project. And yeah, that is everything I have to do. Even I made helper voids so I don't have to write code multiple times. And yeah, that is everything for the interaction system. Of course, it has a lot of lines for the dialogue system, the dialogue manager for the back end. These are for the choices. This is for the animation controller, game manager, and the dialogue getup, and everything that is done in here. So I think this is okay for the devlog number 1. In the next devlog, I try to explain the functions a little bit deeper. I don't want to talk about it a lot right now, so I hope you guys enjoyed this devlog. I tried to keep it as simple as possible. So if you enjoyed this video, a like would be amazing. You can subscribe to see more contents like this. You can tell me anything in the comment section below, maybe questions, any suggestions, anything you want to know about the game, or anything you think you can ask anything in the comment section below. I would be very happy to answer all the questions. Hope all the very best for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.